Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to basic design and sewing classes. Okay, so here we're going to start with the back bodice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line it up onto the dotted paper. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pin my corners. And remember, when pinning, when pinning, you want to pin right in between these two papers because you don't want to, stick yourself while processing, the pattern. Okay. So what we're doing is making a copy. When I am teaching, each of my students get, each of my students receive, an oak tag, their size, but the lesson, they have to copy it onto the dotted paper pattern because you definitely need a copy of it, before we begin making the Muslim dress. I forgot to mention that. That was the third step. The first step is the dotted paper. The second step is the oak tag. And the third step, we have to sample. We have to sample the pattern. And that's a whole different process when working with the Muslim fabric. The Muslim fabric is a very inexpensive fabric to test your garment. Everyone in the industry uses it. You don't want to use your apparel fabric. You want to wait and test your garment on the Muslim. Okay, so we're going to remember, we're going to trace around, the pattern, right? Okay, we're going to trace it onto the dotted paper because we're definitely making a copy and you're learning, the different, parts of the dress. And it comes with a front, a back, bodice, and a front and back skirt and a sleeve. Okay, so I've traced it. Now I'm going to use my awl to pierce my darts. Okay, so here I am. I'm piercing my darts because I want to recognize those when I transfer, the oak tag to, the dotted paper. Okay, and this is my back. So remember, there's two notches for the back and actually one notch for the front. I have to identify that notch, but it's definitely one here. If you were to order your set, I will have that notch there for you. Okay, so now I have traced it onto the dotted paper. So now I'm going to remove it and set it in front of me, so I can true in my 1/2 inch seam allowance. Okay, so here we go. This is how it looks. So now I'm going to begin to true in the seam allowance, the dart, and actually I'm going to true in my dart first. My darts, and I see the holes right here, and I see the other one there. I'm marking, my darts so I can true them in, so I won't forget. Okay, so I'm going to take my ruler. Okay, I'm trying to put that there. Okay, there we go. I'm going to take my ruler. Okay, here we go. Here's my darts. I'm going to go ahead and screw them in because I need them. Okay, and I'm going to screw in my top one, my top dart. Okay, So there we go. Now I'm going to true in my sides using, this is a 2-inch ruler. I mean a 1-inch ruler with 2 halves. So I just need 1/2 of the ruler. Then I line it on the line, and I go ahead and I mark it there. And here I am going to line it. Each dart has a point, okay? Each dart has a point. So I've actually trued it up to that point. Okay, now this section here is very small. This section right here is very small. I trued it up to the point, and then I have this little section right here. So I'm going to turn my ruler around, and then I'm going to go ahead and true it right there. See? Okay. So remember that you're following it to the straight line, and if there is a slope, you want to remember that slope. Now this part here is a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and 1/2 inch. Okay, like that. So that's the 1/2 inch, okay? So the lines are straight. They're not curved. They're straight, okay? So now I am going to true in my bottom part. And I have this separation in my table. Okay, so I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, and also this dart has a point as well. So I'm just going to follow the middle of the dart, turn my ruler just a little bit. Okay. So there we go. So here we go right here, and it's very straight. Now you see the curve in the sleeve. Remember, when we are processing the sleeve and the neck, we really have to take our time. And the way that I process the neck and the armhole of the sleeve, you know, I take my 1/2 inch, because it's a 1/2 inch, and I just do a small marking there, another small marking, and I just keep turning it around. I don't go really fast until it becomes really straight, and then I match it here. You see? Okay, so I'm not ready to put that together yet, you know, to mark them together. I want to keep moving forward. Do the marking here, do the marking here, and this line here is straight. So this is the part that I had to be careful, very careful, because it's a curve. So I just do little sections, you know, and then I will put those together. Okay. Okay, so here we go. And there we go. See? Like that. So now I'm going to return back here, and I'm just going to connect the lines. Okay. Just so I can have a really nice straight pattern. Okay, so there we go. So I connect the lines. So the same thing with the neck. The neck has kind of like, it's kind of straight and a little curved, but it's 1/2 of a 1/2, okay? So this is a 1-inch ruler, and this is 1/2, but I'm going to use a 1/4, 1/2 of a 1/2, okay? So here we go, like that, and I'm going to go ahead and mark the straight part. And then I'm just going to do little markings here, and marking there, you know, marking there, because it is a curve there. Mark there, and mark there, and this part here is pretty straight. Okay, you see, like this. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to connect them together. Okay, so that's how you can work with those curves, you know, on the pattern, because they do start to form to fit the body. Okay, so this here is our back. We have our seam allowance. We have our armhole. We have our neck allowance. Okay, so now what do we have to do? We have to label it. This is the back bodice. Okay, so what I want to do now is bring in my seam, my grain line. Okay, and it's just an arrow. Okay, and I always use like an inch, you know, from the top there. There we go. And we're going to do grain line. Okay, and I do believe I have like an inch for my zipper. I think I add, a zipper is like 3/4, but I kind of like add an inch for my zipper. People disagree, it doesn't matter. I like it, it works for me. So this is like for my zipper, because I have a zipper back. Okay, and my name, my date, the date that I prepared this pattern. The size is, you always want to make sure you have a size on there and the name of your company. Okay, and here I'm going to, it's back, bodice, and size 4. Okay, so there we go. You know, I made room for my zipper, back bodice, size 4. So now I'm going to cut it out. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out now. And remember, you're going to cut right on the line. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around. And I have rocks, I have a lot of rocks, I have paperweights, you know, to hold the paper down while I am processing it, you know. Okay, so, and I always use my paper scissors. Okay, and turn it around. Okay, my side. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to cut out the rest of it. Okay, and this little part here, and I'm going to cut up. It's just a little section, and then I'm just going to cut straight here. If you're interested in purchasing an oak tag to where you can practice on, you know, making a dress garment, you can email me and I can make it available for you to purchase. Okay, so here we go. This is the back part. This is the back bodice. Okay, we have the front and we have the back. And in the next video, we'll work on the skirt. I want to go through each one of them with you, and I kind of want it to be less than like 15 minutes for each pattern versus like 35 minutes, so you can understand each one. Okay, so we're going to do the same process for the front skirt, the back skirt, and we have the sleeve. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.